Alright, hey guys. Alright, here we are with the second budget Field Marshal deck for this season, January 2021, Season 22. And this installment has British paired up with USA. We're going to have some fun with Spitfires. This deck went undefeated from the season reset all the way to Field Marshal. I know some of y'all out there are going to say, hey, that's bullshit. I don't believe that at all. But hey, this is what it is. I got the video here to prove it. I didn't edit this video. I'm going to show you the games from beginning to end, including all the hang time in between. Usually I cut that out so that you don't have to be bored watching it. But I was like, I got my Field Marshal done in 29 minutes. That's record time for me even. And I think that this deck is just crazy. You know, there's luck involved with getting top decks here and there sometimes and with your draw and who your opponents are. But this deck, I think, based on what I've seen, will get you your Field Marshal for sure. So let's just go through the deck and see what it's made up of. And this time, as opposed to my Soviet deck I put up yesterday, is actually 100% standard and limited cards. There's no specials that snuck in here on me. So we're calling this the Budget Spitties. So this deck has two approaches. One is the early game and the mid game is the other. So in the early game, we're looking at basically aggro. Air aggro, we want to get in with our Swordfish. We want to get in with our Gladiators and our close air supports. And we want to smash face as fast and as hard as we can in the early game. And then around the mid game, that's when we're looking for our ground crew to come in. We want RAF ground crew that are going to give our Spitfires, it'll cost 2 less and they'll get buffed +1/+1 when they're deployed. And we got a whole round of Spitfires here, all 4 of the 5/5 Spitties and all 4 of the 6/6 Spitties. Things that are not in this deck are obviously some of the specials that would make this deck potentially more complete, but I'm actually not sure now because initially this new USAAF Spitfire, draw a random air unit from your deck, combines well with the ground crew because it drops the cost to 5 for one. So you get a 5 cost 5/5, which is on par with the Spitfire MKIA here. And it'll draw you another air unit from your deck, which would end up being most likely another Spitfire if you're able to get rid of your early game early, right? But this is a special, so I don't have it and I didn't craft it and it's not in this deck. But that's an option. And I think not having it actually made this deck stronger because I was able to include more of the early game. And I was able to include things like interception to counter an enemy order, and that came in clutch a couple of times. So I think that that's pretty good to have in this deck, is to have a couple of interceptions. So I did have to craft. I had about 300 and some resources left over, so I crafted a few cards to round this out. I did craft the Bolster the ranks. I had to craft those guys. I didn't have them, and I had to craft the ground crew. And I had to craft 2 Spitfires. So once I crafted all of that, I had everything needed for this deck. So as I said, Mulligan wise, starting the game off, you want all your 1-drops. Swordfish is your #1 target in your Mulligan. Number 2 target is Gladiator. Number 3 target is Greyhound. Then following up for that, you want close air supports as quickly as possible so that you can start buffing these guys and really do damage fast. Not getting those guys in your opening hand will definitely slow down the deck and make it a little harder. But the mid game in this deck is pretty damn strong, so that should be okay. We're running 4 convoys for draw. We got 3 patrols in here for which you may have to craft because these are theaters of war. If you didn't do the campaigns, you may have to craft these. But these are very important in an air deck because they remove guard and kill some of the 2 health or less artillery. It helps get rid of them as well. So patrol will come in clutch in a deck like this. I threw in down the 4th Marines because I was looking for a unit to put in, and 4th Marines plays really nice with Bolster, so why not drop 2 of those in there and just to see if they get to play. In the end, they don't end up doing a whole lot for me in these games, except for in one game I think they do something, but otherwise they don't really do much. Not the point of the deck. 1st Marines, again, just plugging the front line and putting a smoke screen on your HQ is handy. So this is more just a utility unit. The 3/4 body, it's a pretty tough unit. It's a good card to have in there. And then the rest of the deck is Bolster the ranks. Everybody knows Bolster the ranks and can't wait for it to get nerfed. And but for now, we're gonna have some fun with it. And the rest of the deck is Spitfire Synergy with the ground crew and the 2 sets of Spitfires. So that's it. That's the deck. As you can see, standard, standard, limited, 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 standard, standard, limited, standard, limited. So complete budget deck. You might have to craft a few cards. Brand new players may not be able to pull this deck off. As I said, this is my third season with this account, and so I've had a few resources stockpile. I never craft things until I know what kind of deck I actually want to make, and that's sort of how I conserve my resources. And I knew I wanted to do this deck, so I didn't mind spending the 150 resources to craft those cards that I needed. So that's it. Good luck, guys. This deck works. You can do it. I just did it. Here's the video to prove it. Enjoy the video. Leave any comments down below. Don't forget to slam that subscribe button to get notified for the next ones. There'll be a link at the end of the video for you to catch the Soviet FM. I did that one last night, and there'll be more to come this season with the rest of the budget Field Marshal videos, as well as I'll be doing an Elite series that will include full meta decks for Field Marshals as well. But for now, enjoy. Have a good one, guys. Good luck. All right, here we go. The British Field Marshal deck. Brit Air. Let's have some fun with Spitfires and bolster the ranks. Crafted those cards particularly for this deck so we can have some fun to see if we can Field Marshal with it. Think it works out pretty good. And so this is an uncut, unedited video. You're going to see all the hang time in between because this just happened so fast that you guys are probably not even going to believe that this is real, but I'm guaranteeing you this is 100% real. Alright, so again, we're looking for the one drops here. We want the Swordfish Gladiators to start off with. Greyhound is our third choice. Normally going to lead off with the Swordfish. Don't know why I led off with the Greyhound there. I would call that my first misplay, but not too significant. I mean, it's a 1/3 body, so it trades off well anyway. But the nice thing about the Swordfish is they don't trade at all because they don't take damage back. So anyways, he only played that infantry, so now we have a nice wide board here. We're in really good shape. Alright, so we're waiting for Lovecart to come up with her next play. I don't know what that will be. Let's see. It's pretty threatening on turn 2 to have to deal with what I've presented here with the 2 bombers. So we top deck a close air support. Pretty sweet. With only 3 credits, we're not going to be able to move up to Greyhound. That won't give us enough damage anyway. So we'll close air support and clear the board. And just like that, we get the turn 3 surrender. Nothing to deal with the Swordfish. Fantastic. Alright, that's great. We're now 1-star general. Winning that first game is so clutch. I hate losing the first game after the Field Marshal reset, the season reset. You know, getting stuck going back and forth at Major for a little while. Winning that first one's huge. Gets you up to general. Then you just focus on finishing off general. If only they could all go just as easy as this one goes. Well, I shouldn't say easy. This one was not difficult, but just went really fast, you know, when you don't lose any games. Oops, is that another spoiler? Alright, trying to find the next enemy here. This is some good hip-hop beats from Stream Beats. Look up Stream Beats on Spotify. Tunes are awesome for streaming purposes and stuff like that. It's really good. Alright, so we're playing against Ink. Here we go. Brit versus Brit. Alright, so not a great start. We're going to mully away everything except the Gladiator, going after what we need. Double Gladiator and a Greyhound. Perfect starting hand. I mean, you need this kind of good starting hand for a quick start, but you also need a couple of top decks to help push things along. Okay, so we're going against Resistance. So whenever you go against Resistance, the counter to Resistance is speed. So we need to get our stuff down and start getting aggro on this guy real fast before they can set up any sort of real pushes of getting a lot of Resistance cards in our hands. A lot of the important Resistance stuff that really clogs things up is mid-game. So we need to start putting pressure so that we can shut that down. And so getting the Greyhound out to the front there is super nice. Now we got the 3 planes threatening 6 more damage. Next turn, 7 altogether if the Greyhound gets the hit as well. Alright. So he didn't play anything. He floated 3 credits. Should have saw the Ultra coming, but I didn't. So we lose that close air support, but not a big deal. We still end up hitting face for 6 more. we got him down to 12. So we're making good progress here. He hasn't done anything resistance-wise. So it goes with the HMS Illustrious. That's an elite card. So just to show, like, we're playing against elite decks. You know, like, this is a standard limited deck only, and we're going up against elites and holding our own here. So, you know, it goes to show in this game you can be really competitive with standard and elite cards. So I think the play here is to clear one bomber so that he can't kill the Greyhound straight up, and then go face with the rest. So now he's got to put some more units down if he's going to close air support or whatever. With resistance, close air supports don't exactly fit, so I don't think he would have them, but you never know. So he goes with the honey and some card draw. So he's going to heal, and instead of healing, he self-implodes with this surrender. Perfect. That's what you do to resistance. That's how you beat them. It's just all about speed. All right, 2-star general. That's 2 wins. On to game 3. Here we go. All right, budget Spitties. Here we go. So we haven't seen any Spitties yet. Haven't had to play them. We were sort of winning so far. It was just straight up red aggro. The air aggro. Bragro, as I like to call it. Bragro. So hopefully maybe this game will get the ground crew involved in some Spitfire action. Locating enemy. Again, just letting this play because it's so short anyways. You could fast forward the video on YouTube if you want, right? You can skip ahead, and I'll put chapters in the video description as well, but I'm leaving this video on uncut just so that you can see that this actually went back to back to back, 5 in a row. Budget Field Marshal. All right, so going against Wolf. Looks like he's Soviet deck. Is that right? Yeah, this is a Soviet deck. All right, here we go. See what he's going to do. See if he's tokens or control style. So we got a Swordfish and a Greyhound. We're going to Mulligan away the Spitfire and the Bolster. Keeping the close air support was a bit greedy. Looking at this, I kind of regretted keeping it. Just because now we don't have a very good start. We only got the 1 Swordfish and the Greyhound. Having 2 and a close air support, 2 planes and as 1 drops and a close air support is a really good start. Because on turn 2, you close air support and you get a really good attack out. No, turn 3 rather, you get the close air support down. We top deck a Gladiator there, so that was nice. Gets us back on pace. All right, so he comes out with a 5-5-4 and follows up with the 4th Kugan Cossacks. Okay, so now I'm pretty happy I have that close air support. Because the Cossacks could have wiped out both of our units. So with the close air support, 3 credits, we're able to deal with all of that stuff he just sent at us. That was a huge turn right there. So now we got the 3-5 bomber down. Soviet usually has guards, so we want to have the bomber buffed up is nice because it can shoot past guards. If you're playing against a nation that doesn't have a lot of guards typically, like US for example, you want to spread your buffs out across your units because you put all your eggs into one basket. If it gets killed, you lose all your values. So, but when you know that there's guards, you are good to just go ahead and put all your eggs into your bombers because they can shoot past the guards. Of course, he gets the 50-50 on the DFA there, so our bomber's gone anyway. So we put down the ground crew. So there's nothing on board, so I'm feeling pretty safe about it, but then he comes at us with a Hellcat here. Kills the ground crew off. So we still don't get to see any Spitfire action. We do have a patrols, luckily, so that helps us kill off the Hellcat. And we get a Greyhound to the front and hit face for 2 with the Gladiator. So the Gladiator's hanging on, holding the bridge for us while we try to build up our hand. We have a really bad hand here. We're going to need some good draws, I think. That's not bad to get the 1 cheaper costing Spitfire so that we get it to hit face at the same time. So we get the 6-5 or the 5-5 downs buffed by the Greyhound, and the Gladiator can hit face for 2. So now he can basically kill off that Spitfire though. And he doesn't. He actually hits the Gladiator instead. Interesting. So he leaves the, does he have something else for it? Oh, he goes with the red banner. That was a really greedy red banner. I don't think he should have done that. He probably should have just traded the value trade for the Spitfire there. would have been probably the better play, but I don't know what he has in his hand, so maybe he's got something else. So we got all 3 bolsters in our hand and not a whole lot of units right now, so we're at a high risk. I mean, if we lose our planes now, we're really in trouble because we don't have very good tempo. Even though we got him down to 5 health. Alright, so he goes war production. Alright, so he's fishing for a way now, I guess, to deal with that 7-7 fighter. We intercept the sickles. He might have had a sickle crit hit lined up there, so that was pretty sweet. But no, he could have hit with the plane and crit hit that way. Supply shipment, not enough. So I think that red banner is coming back to bite him in the ass here. If he would have just traded for the plane, he'd still be alive to fight. But he red bannered instead of trading, and that's the result for Mr. Wolf. All right, let's go. Budget Spitties, game number 4. Game should be getting a little bit harder. We know we're getting closer to the end here. The matchups should be getting a little bit more difficult. All right, so we are versus the Black Prince. Not the, just Black Prince. All right, so Soviet again. All right, so a couple of Spitties. And Spitfires won us the game last game, so that was pretty awesome. So now we got the Swordfish and the Gladiator, so not a bad start. Having 2 1-drops in his opening hand is pretty good. Alright, so waiting for the enemy to select all their starting hand. Alright, so we play down our Swordfish. Pretty predictable start for us. It's textbook. Lead off with the aggro, finish with the mid-range Spitfires and bolsters. That's the game plan. Alright, Gladiator's down. Hit with the Swordfish for the ping. We got the close air support in hand now, so we can go with our stay on script. Alright, so he puts down the healing guy. I don't remember what number that is, but he's the one that will heal for whatever damage it takes. It'll heal the HQ. We're not threatened by that. He's 2 turns away to attack because he's got to advance still. So we're just going to keep pressuring face. Do as much damage as possible so that we put less reliance on the late game. You know, Soviets can have a lot of big guards. A lot of super strong elites, so the less we need the late game, the better. We still want to have some fun with the Spitties and hopefully do some big finishes with them and get some big bolsters off, but definitely want to try to get as much damage in early as we can. Alright, goes for research. Spy ring. Alright, so again, you know, playing the ground crew down naked like that is probably not the best play. I guess I'm feeling like he maybe doesn't have an easy way to deal with it. But, you know, we want to try to get the ground crew down when we could actually play a Spitfire down. So in this case here, turn 7, you put the ground crew down with a Spitfire at the same time. Kind of guarantees you get the value out of it. Or maybe turn 6 if you have the 5-5 Spitfire, because that would only cost 3 to deploy in that case. But here we'll see if he has a way to deal with the ground crew. If not, we're going to get a nice big fat Spitfire out on the board on turn 5. So we got the ZZZ coming from Black Prince here. Let's see what he's going to do. Wow, so he goes after the ground crew. Doesn't heal any for that because the ground crew doesn't give any damage, but air power to deal 2 damage. So he's a British ally. So in that case, we definitely want to keep buffing the Swordfish so that it can handle getting past guards. And Soviet has their own share of guards as well. So we draw 3 cards because we can still use our close air support and hit face. So we go smack him for another 5. We got him down to 7. Progressing pretty well here so far. And he sends us a good day, comrade. Let's give him a little hello. Oh, he goes with the confusion. This guy likes his emotes, that's for sure. And he gets to Euro that out. He gets a guard out of it. So that's frustrating. We don't want to have to deal with guards because we just lost our bomber. And we have a really horrible hand now. He's got a guard, the little infantry in the front, and we don't really have any good units. 4th Marines, we can't really play it. It's too much of a confusion target. And so we can't just put that down and bolster it and give him a 10-10 to confuse it. Hit face for 10 and then Euro factories, and it ends up stealing the unit from us after smacking us in the face for 10 damage. So 4th Marines is a little bit of a brick right now. We got to be careful with that one. All right, Black Prince, what are you up to? All the Spitfires are outside of confusion range. So we just got to look for minority reports at turn 10. And so he goes, gets his Royal Research going, expands it. So we definitely want to try to get him killed before Bletchley Park if that's where he's going with it. +7 on HQ with the forts. We top deck a 1st Marines. So that's not as bad of a target if he confuses it. But we'll go ahead and clear off his infantry, clear off his guard. Drop the Greyhound for credit efficiency. And hopefully we can hold the board here. The guy plays pretty slowly, giving good thought to all his cards, I presume. Alright, Siberian Transfer. He's coming in with that, takes out the Spitfire. Alright, that kind of sucks because now we have no units. We do have draw, so we're going to go draw 3 cards. Draw 2 cards rather. When we draw more draw, and we get a Spitfire. And so now we have 3 Spitfires. At least we got units. We're just going to plug up the front line here. No good bolster targets yet, really. You don't really want to use a bolster on a one-off cost unit. Doesn't really give you the best value. So, I mean, realistically, we want to try to top deck a ground crew now. Having this handful of Spitfires this late in the game, we want ground crew. Okay, he drops a T-34. That's good. No blitz. 15th Mortar Rifles. Okay, that's annoying. So 15th Mortar Rifles gives immunity to his HQ no matter where it is on the board. So you can play it out to the side like that, and sometimes it tricks the opponents because they think it's not guarding the HQ, but check that symbol under the HQ. It's definitely guarding it, giving it immunity. So with Mortar Rifles, you could actually guard 2 units and give immunity to your HQ or smokescreen. So we didn't have to go after that Mortar Rifles and kill it. So our units are vulnerable with low health, so having Interception in our hand is kind of nice right now. If he does decide to play a Bloody Sickle to finish off the Marines, we can intercept it. But again, he's healed all the way up to 17 now, so he's almost back to full health. So all the effort that we put in the early game has been wiped out. Oh, it goes with a hammer. Well, that's even better. That cost him 3 credits. We intercept it. And that screws up his game plan because he was going to clear the unit and then blitz up with the tank to kill the Spitfire. And he wouldn't have died because of the heavy armor. So we would have been in a really bad spot. So that interception, I think, just saves the game for us right there. It's going to allow us to get more presence on the board now. Alright, that patrol is a really nice top deck. Patrol away the 15th Mortar Rifles. We could bolster the 5-5, drop another 5-5 beside it, hit face for 7 more, and now we have him back down to 9. Here we go again. When he's played 1 forts, he's going to have more forts in his hand, so we're going to have to keep fighting through the healing. At least when he heals, he's not gaining tempo on board, but he is buying time that he could get his research off, so that's a bit risky. Bletchley Park would definitely cripple us. Well, he's not going to get there yet. Alright, so what's he going to do here? Synthetic rubber. Okay, so he's going to buff the tank and kill out the 7-7. So there he goes. That's good. The research is gone then. That one's gone anyway. All right. This actually leaves us a good opportunity to use the 4th Marines. Now we could actually blitz out, kill his tank, and it trades off the 4th Marines. It cost us 7 credits, but we trade it off, and he can't use confusion on it. We'll bolster our other Spitfire, drop our Swordfish down for credit efficiency, I guess, just to use up the credits and get it on the board. And we have him down to 2 again. And he throws us the ZZZs. Interesting. So, the Swordfish doesn't win the game unless we get a close air support. The 7-7 is what he's got to deal with now. And we play the waiting game with Mr. ZZZ. He goes after some research. Aspiring is an interesting card. I mean, it makes the research a little bit more expensive. But, so he gets his radar, plus 4 HQ healing, and draws a card. Draws into a convoy, which draws into a fortification. So now he's back up to 13 health again. This guy just won't die, man. Alright. Greyhound out to the front. Hitting face for 10. Plus 1 more from the Greyhound, 11. Right back down to 2. So he did all that healing and we were able to wipe it all back out. I think we've killed his HQ twice by now. I'm sure we've done at least 40 damage on it. Alright, so he's going to throw us all the ZZZs here. See if he can kill anything. Alright, he hammers off the Greyhound, no problem. We still have lethal, very much so. And now he's going to draw 2 cards, so he's down to 4 credits. So I think we got him here. Don't think he has much for 4 credits that's going to kill 2 fighters and or protect his HQ. And we get the surrender. Beauty, with a few more ZZZs coming at us. Alright, here we go. Final boss. Budget Spitties. Hey, so that last game was not really difficult. We were never really threatened, but it just wouldn't end when we wanted it to end. He just kept healing. Alright, so now we have final boss. World Eaters. Soviet again. Seeing a lot of Soviet. So we keep all our 1-drops, and we managed to get a close air support from our Mulligan, so that's pretty sweet. 3 1-drop planes and a close air support. Can't ask for much better than that. Okay, Night Witches. Okay, Night Witches could be a problem. So again, it's an elite card, and we're limited standard deck only going against these elite decks. So that's going to give him a From the People and one of them Poloskopala, whatever they're called, the bombers. You know what it's called. Anyway, so he'll be able to on turn 3 deal 3 damage to a plane. So he'll be able to wipe out one of the planes. So we're probably just going to want to try to go wide. That bomber's not much of a threat. I think we play the Gladiator because then it forces the bomber to trade into the plane and he can't hit our bomber. The fighter protects the bomber from being attacked by the bomber. But now he'll From the People, the plane. That takes all his credits. Oh, and another close air support, so that's pretty sweet. Right, so we'll drop the other Swordfish, close air support, the active one, and hit face for 3. Keep chipping away. He doesn't have any way to buff that bomber, and it doesn't do a lot of damage, so I really don't give a crap about it. We can stay there. And there's more From the People. So he has the one that he had from the Night Witches, but then also he's playing them in his deck, so he has a few of them. Alright, so this is credit efficiency. We're going to play with 1st Marines to the front. Make him make a choice between the bomber and the 1st Marines. And the close air support's not very good value. We only have 1 plane on. We could have made that a 4-5, but it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so he bounces our plane, chips away at the Marines. Okay, so he's going reserves. Alright, so it's taken him a little while to get there, but he looks like he's going to play reserves. or play tokens rather. All right, so we got the bomber we could put back out. Is that the play? I think credit-wise, yeah. Kind of want to hit face here with the Marine. So we do that. So if he's going to play the half track, I don't know why I didn't play 4th Marines. Should have just dropped it down to fill the board. It wouldn't have really mattered, but it does take space, and I don't plan on spending 4 credits to move it, and I don't have a bolster in my hand, so... Alright, so he has to trade off the way we thought, but I actually thought he would kill the 1st Marines. He kills the bomber. So he's trying to go wide with tokens now. Alright, so we're slowing down a little bit, but we're just going to keep punching face. If he leaves those Marines in the front, they're doing work, man. Got him down to 11. Normally with tokens, you want to kill the tokens as fast as possible, but our deck doesn't really lend itself to trading efficiently with tokens in the sense of, you know, we'll kill 1 token with our Spitfire. What does that gain us? Really nothing. So really what we're doing is face racing at this point. We know that he's, you know, 1 unity away from a huge board. His ability to trade with big buffs is huge. He could be playing the Alliance. So there's a lot of risk involved with this sort of approach, but you know, when we could bolster to a 7/7 fighter, bring him down to 4 health, that's pretty significant. We're basically threatening lethal next turn. He's only got 4 damage on the front line right now, so he really does need to have a unity. He has a guard, so that's a problem. So now he has a really nice board. That guard slows us down. He gets more draw, so he's going to probably be closer to having big buffs. We need something. So we top deck patrol, which I knew, and that helps clear the guard, and then we smack base. So a bit of luck involved there, being able to get that patrol at that exact time and get the kill shot. And that is it. Undefeated, 5-0, British Field Marshal completed. Good luck, guys.